On Sunday, we looked at Mark chapter 11, verses 27 through 33. And we saw the heart and the nature of the fallen mankind, and postured in our stubbornness, in our desire for autonomy, our own power, and our hardness of heart, our pride. This is an obstacle that Jesus Christ just recently referred to as a mountain. This is an obstacle that Jesus Christ said not too long ago, as we're going through Mark, not too long ago, that to overcome this is impossible for man. Impossible. Not going to happen. But is only possible with God. If we want to make the mountain get tossed into the sea, we don't build physical muscle. We don't go over and try harder. We fall to our knees. And we go to the power, the only power has the power to do that, that's able to do that. And so we talked about in this passage of Scripture, as we looked at the hard hearts and the pride of the Sanhedrin, that something only supernatural would be able to penetrate, to crack into that hard exterior. And it is true with our loved ones in our lives, and our neighbors, and our communities, and even this nation, as we watch this nation lose its mind day by day. This is a call for Christians to get busy, roll up our sleeves. We need to be hard at work in prayer. This is what we're called to do. One of the members of our church mentioned on Sunday afterwards how much this passage tied in to what we're studying in the book of Revelation on Wednesday. Because in the book of Revelation, one of the things that where we're at in chapter 5, I think it is, we're called to be priests. Kingdom of priests. That's what you and I are, Christian. Kingdom of priests. And a priest represents God to the people. And so we are to do good works, be a blessing to community, be loving, show the love, demonstrate God by being like Christ, by walking in the Spirit, and our actions and deeds and language all should represent God to the people. And as we certainly proclaim His love and His redemptive plan for them, the gospel. But then also the priest's job is to represent the people to God. And so we are called then to be busy on our knees praying for the lost. This is what's going to, listen, if you're a Christian, no doubt somebody somewhere along the line fell to their knees on your behalf. See, they don't have access to the throne room, but we do. And so when we walk in there, our job is to bring them with us, to lift them up before God in prayer and ask that their hearts be softened. And so when we were talking about this on Wednesday, this didn't come up on Sunday, but Wednesday it came up, and somebody seemed to get a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of lost people that they have contact with. And certainly I can relate and identify to that. I was there as well. And so I'm going to share with you what I have done to help me systematically and intentionally walk through praying for everybody in my life. Now, I can't possibly pray for everybody in my life all the time. There are certain things and certain people that I pray for every day. Guys that I disciple, this church, this community, and certainly my wife Kim and my daughter Ellie. Every single day they get prayed for. Now, there are other people that move into that category. It is people that I know are currently going through a difficult time, people who really need daily prayer, and so I will move them into that category as well from time to time. And then when they're blessed, I will journal how God has answered that prayer and then put them back into their weekly rotation. And so here's what I do. I just think through my whole life. I think through my current family that I live with, that I'm in charge of, and then I think through, like my mom and sisters and brothers and parents, all of that, and grandparents if they're still alive, and just go out as far, aunts and uncles and cousins, and just think through all of that as far as you can possibly go, and just writing a list. And then I think through just the church and different groups I'm in, and at work, and maybe the gym if I go to a gym, or just wherever God has put me to do life. He has put me there on purpose. And if the very least I can do is pray, and that's really the most I can do. That's the best thing. That's the greatest thing that I can do. And you would be surprised how often I'm in the posture of praying for somebody, and I just get this inspiration. Now, I don't get a word. I don't call anybody and say, God told me to tell you. Nothing like that. But I'll just get this inspiration to just call somebody. Or to just reach out to somebody, or if somebody has brought something up that they're struggling with, and I pray for them, I'll get some inspiration on maybe call them up and we'll have a conversation. Have you ever looked at it like this? Things like that. So you get this list, and however long the list is, you divide it by however many days a week you can commit to prayer. I do 6. I do 6 days a week in prayer, and so I take that list, that number, and I divide it by 6, and then you can kind of play with it, compartmentalize it. Family this day, church, these 2-3 days, however long that might take you. And maybe you've got to do 2 weeks. Maybe you've got to do 3 weeks. But praying for somebody once every 3 weeks is better than not praying for them at all, or just praying for them sporadically. And so I thought I'd share that, and I hope that's an encouragement. And certainly you can use things to your advantage. There's technologies. I'm blessed to have the program Logos, and that has a prayer thing set up so every single day when I log into Logos, my front screen will have my daily readings that I need to do that day for my own quiet time, and my daily devotional, which I'm really into. My Utmost for His Highest, again, by Oswald Chambers, and then my prayer list for that day, my daily, and then whatever day of the week it is, I'll have that list there, and I can check it off as I pray. But there's other ways to do it. If you don't have Logos, then obviously you could do Evernote, or just a Word document. That's how I started. It was just a simple Word document. So there's a way for us to pray, but however we do it, and maybe you don't like that, and there's some other way to do it. I'm not telling you have to do it that way. It's a suggestion. Here's the big idea, though. Here, guys, we need to be hard at work for prayer. In prayer. Praying for the lost, praying for our churches, praying for our pastors, our ministers, and our missionaries, and our congregations, and just praying, just storming the heavens in prayer. It is the only possible way to advance the gospel.